So there's a wasp in my bathroom. Just looking at me. Waiting on it. Boy, you just messed up. Y'all, it's game time. Oh, 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 oh. You're choking. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, I can't even see. Oh, shit. Oh, crap. Yeah, that's my hood now, cuz. Yeah. Don't feel so good. Do it. All right, so what movie sequels do y'all not like? Me, they should have stopped Transformers after the third one. Second one was good. I like the second one, actually. Third one was good. I kind of liked it. I like 2 and 3. I'll be honest. Hey, so the Terminator. Why?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Why they still? Give me another one. Pick one. Stop with the movies. Hangover. Stop. You should have made one to the stop. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. Y'all tell me what y'all think. We're about to watch this movie sequels. Instagram link, Twitter link, donation link, description below. Let's get it.
Me, Jaden, Dominic, Ross, and Aaron are all going on tour doing a show called Scribble Showdown. We're going to these cities on these dates. So if you want to see us play some drawing games live, then go to scribbleshowdown.com, link in the description.
I wish I could draw.
Please.
Wait, if I could draw.
Okay, enjoy the video now. Do you all remember that classic kids movie made in the 70s about a pig and a spider? Yeah, Charlotte's Web.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how it made us a lot of money? Wait, didn't we already have this conversation? Yeah, we did. But we're remaking this conversation with better graphics and Will Smith.
Yeah.
But why would we remake something that's already good on its own when we could be making something totally original?
Exactly.
Because, Ethan, we don't want to take risks, and this will make us more money. But won't it be obvious to the audience that we're only doing these remakes for the money? They'll watch it anyways. I don't want you to think that I think that all sequels and remakes are bad. One of my favorite movies is a spin-off. And I'm very excited for the remake of The Dark Crystal to come out. And if you think I'm going to make a video talking about it when it comes out, you are absolutely correct. So Disney is remaking a bunch of classical movies into live action. They did it with Tarzan, Alice in Wonderland, and they did it with 101 Dalmatians twice. And as someone who enjoys cartoons a little too much, I think it would be cool if they remade Treasure Planet or Atlantis into live action. Both of those movies are underrated and have a lot of high-stake, action-packed adventure that would be perfect for a reboot. And if they did get a reboot, it would introduce a new generation of kids to these awesome movies. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure Disney has good reasons for making sequels and spin-offs. Speaking of Disney sequels, I bet some of you forgot the very old straight-to-VHS Disney sequels. I try to forget about them every day. You can have your own opinion on the Disney sequels, but all the ones that went straight to VHS are terrible. Even The Lion King 2? That one emo lion was kinda hot. Did I stutter? I know all those sequels were technically done by a different studio, but let's just hope that Disney will finally break the bad sequel streak with Frozen 2. Or they should just let it go straight to VHS. Some franchises like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings have long overarching stories that are designed to have multiple installments, and as long as the studio doesn't stretch out one book into 3 movies, then those types of movies are absolutely fine. But I don't want to talk about those movies. I want to talk about sequels to standalone films. Now, I believe that a sequel to a standalone film can be done, but it's a delicate process. Because in the first movie, you establish the characters and the world they live in, then the protagonist has to overcome a problem, usually defeating a villain, and then the characters live happily ever after, and the story is all wrapped up nicely with a bow, and just, what a nice story we got there. I'm just gonna set it down and watch it from time to time and not change it one bit. But then a sequel comes along and says, oh, you thought the characters lived happily ever after?
You thought wrong.
And then cuts off the nice bow and says there's another more evil villain who wasn't mentioned in the first movie for some reason. If a sequel turns out bad, it can devalue the original movie. There's a reason we don't talk about Atlantis 2 or Pocahontas 2. Or Mulan 2, or Hunchback 2, or Aladdin 2, or Cinderella 2, or Beauty and the Beast 2, or Tarzan 2. Because they didn't happen. So that's why I'm always
Well, there you go.
impressed whenever a good sequel is made. And
Never
a
happened.
studio that I think does an amazing job at making sequels is called DreamWorks. But I've noticed a pattern with DreamWorks franchises that I've coined
That Shrek
the
was
DreamWorks trequel paradox. I think the right word might be trilogy, but I'm just going to say trequel. You see, DreamWorks has a track record of creating amazing sequels, but pretty subpar trequels. Here's what I mean. Now, keep in
Subpar.
mind that these are not my opinion. These reviews are objectively correct facts. And also, I just want to say I know that these movies are kids' movies, but I like animated movies more than real ones. And I'm a cartoon character, so...
There you go.
Shrek 1. Great movie, great characters, great message, 10 onion layers out of 10. Shrek 2, it's the first movie in history to be better than the original, and it created the best music video of all time. I need 11 heroes out of 10. Shrek 3?
I haven't even seen that.
My swamp. Okay, I know we might not all agree, but here's another example. Kung Fu Panda 1, perfect
Great.
movie. Any movie with anthropomorphic animals is always a win in my book. I think we have a best-selling franchise on our Panda Paws. Kung Fu Panda 2, just as good as the original.
Haven't
How
seen
many
it.
sequels have an animated bird as a villain? Besides Stuart Little 2. So far, we got 10
Stuart was
sequels
dead.
bird, but then Kung Fu Panda 3 comes along and... I'm sorry, Jablinski, I just wasn't feeling this one. Which is why I was so worried for How to Train Your Dragon 3, and let's just say the DreamWorks trequel paradox didn't break its trend. However, there's one franchise that doesn't follow the DreamWorks trequel paradox, and it haunts my dreams. Works. And that franchise is Madagascar. I remember loving this movie as a kid. And
Yep, we watched that
apparently
movie a
I
lot.
wasn't the only kid who enjoyed it, because it made $193,595,521. So DreamWorks made 2 more of these movies, and created the thing that haunts my dreams. Now, personally, I don't really
What's that?
care for these movies. They're fine. I haven't rewatched them at all, so 5 out of 10. But there's another movie in this franchise. A movie that shouldn't be as good as it is, and honestly, I'm a little embarrassed to admit that it might make the list of my top 5 favorite movies. I don't think enough people are talking about this movie, so I'm going to be the one who breaks the ice. That metaphor is relevant because we're talking about Penguins of Madagascar. Penguins of Madagascar is the best movie that features penguins ever. Better than Happy Feet and Happy Feet 2, and it's 1,000 times more realistic than March of the Penguins. There's a scene where the penguins fall off an airplane and go hopping from one airplane to another. It's so entertaining, and it's all done in one continuous camera shot.
I've never
so
seen
I'm
it.
not talking with a hint of irony when I say that this scene is a cinematic masterpiece. I don't remember when
I'd
I
have to
first
watch
watched
it.
Penguins of Madagascar. It came out when I was 18, so I'm probably not the target demographic. But I remember after watching it thinking, wow, that's a good movie. And I didn't think about that
That's a
movie
good movie.
again until years later on Halloween night 2018. I was in a Discord call with some friends who were also spending their Halloween night behind a computer, and naturally we were discussing which Madagascar sequel was better. Some people
Naturally.
actually liked the second one, which was surprising, and I said, well, no matter what you think of the sequels, at least we can all agree that Penguins of Madagascar is better than both of them, right? And everyone in the call was like, what are you talking about?
Uh-oh.
And instead of watching a scary movie that Halloween night, we all virtually watched a movie about penguins together, and I think everyone liked it. Okay, let's talk about another studio,
They liked it, dude.
Pixar. Pixar movies do a good job at appealing to a wide audience. Kids like them because they're a cartoon, and adults like them because of their heavy themes like old people dying. Almost every movie Pixar has made has been a cinematic classic. Penguins of Madagascar, however, is not one of those emotionally inducing movies. It doesn't teach a thought-provoking life lesson. It's an hour and a half of penguins fighting an octopus, and I love it.
Hey,
Every morning
that sounds like a good
when I
idea
watch
right there.
Madagascar, I feel like a kid again. I am jealous of the writing in this movie.
That's low
Okay,
key.
there's one fart joke, but that's my only complaint. Now, do I think Penguins is better than all of these Pixar movies? No, definitely not. But I do think this movie is really good, and
It's not sad
IMDb
to
gave
think
it a
of
6.7 when it clearly deserves a 10. I don't know if this video convinced you to watch Penguins of Madagascar, but if you're retroactively looking for the next summer blockbuster movie to watch, then it's got my recommendation.
I'm considering it
James,
now.
are you being sponsored by Penguins? I wish. There wasn't really a point to this video, I just wanted an excuse to talk about my favorite DreamWorks spinoff. So, in conclusion, I'm really excited for The Dark Crystal 2 coming out on Netflix. The show's being released on August 30th, which is coincidentally this channel's 5-year anniversary. So don't expect me to work that day. Okay, admittedly, this video went off the rails a tiny bit.
It did a little bit.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Hey everyone, I feel like I always say this, but I know it's been a while. I did a lot of shows recently, like Scribble Show.
I'm not really sure what to say. I agree with him. Most of the videos he was talking about, I guess we were just talking about animated movies because I guess Lion King just came out. So I guess that's why we were talking about that sequel. He's talking about remakes. He was talking about remakes. Oh no, he was talking about sequels too. I'm tripping. He talked about both. People keep buying it, so they're gonna keep making it. I mean, that's just how I go. A movie did really, really good. You know what? It did so good. Let's make it again. But let's add a bigger and better villain and have them fight longer. I mean, that, in a nutshell, that's what it is.
It's that simple. It sounded a little bit complicated, but it's really that simple.
Madagascar, apparently I need to see this movie. The Penguin one. I already seen the other one, the original one. Hey! Y'all like and sub, Instagram link, Twitter link, donation link in description below. Shout out to him. Oz went out. He's amazing and funny as usual. Most sequels aren't that good, honestly. And most of them aren't. There are some that are, though. In my opinion. Y'all tell me what y'all think, honestly. I'm actually curious about what y'all think is the best. What's the best sequel? What's the worst sequel? We all agree Terminator is too much. We all agree on that, right? Right. You do agree with that, though, at least, right? I'm done. I'm not playing with y'all anymore. Adios, sayonara. See you later.
And as someone who enjoys cartoons a little too much, I think it would be cool if they remade...
Now, personally, I don't really
What's that?
care for these movies. They're fine.